Have you ever seen this type of tree? It is called the tongue tree, valued for the oil derived from the seeds of the tree. Tongue oil is used as an ingredient in paint and varnish. Just be careful when you see tongue trees, because their leaves may give you a poison ivy-like rash. Tongue trees are native to Asia. They come into bloom in early April. So ancient Chinese meteorologists called tongue blossoms the first flower species blooming during the solar term named Qingming in Chinese, which literally means clear and bright, indicating a clear and bright view of spring scenery. A solar term is a 15 to 16-day period during which people experience a certain type of weather. Ancient Chinese meteorologists divided the year into 24 solar terms, which have been recognized by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization as intangible cultural heritage of humanity. The solar term named Qingming in Chinese begins on April 4th or April 5th, depending on when the sun reaches the celestial longitude of 15 degrees. The first day of this solar term is a traditional Chinese holiday widely known as the Qingming Festival or Tomb Sweeping Day, which is for people to pay tribute to their ancestors and the deceased family members. As the weather is warm and pleasant during this time of year, cemetery visitors can go sightseeing elsewhere on their way home, and they may bring something to eat. Green rice balls are specifically made for this special day as grave offerings and picnic food. It is mugwort juice or another wild plant juice that gives the rice balls the green color. Shanghai-style green rice balls are called qingtuan in Chinese, with a zuki bean paste or another sweet filling inside. By contrast, most of the Taiwanese green rice balls are savory. They may or may not contain ground pork, but they usually have dried radish inside. Another vegan option is made of mung bean paste. Taiwanese green rice balls are called caowagui in Taiwan, where many people go to Mount Yangming on Tomb Sweeping Day. During the solar term following Tomb Sweeping Day, many different types of flowers are blooming, but ancient Chinese meteorologists only picked 3 of them to represent the solar term. The first, as mentioned earlier, is tongue blossoms. The second is wheat flowers. The third is willow flowers. Among the 3, since most people nowadays live in cities and don't see a wheat field very often, some Chinese writers have suggested replacing wheat flowers on the list with a flower species commonly seen at city parks. The alternatives include calla lilies and wisteria. Comparatively, wisteria has a shorter bloom period. Although wisteria may stay in bloom in May in northern China, it only blooms in April in central China. The solar term from early to mid-April can be divided into 3 parts. Each part is 5 to 6 days long. According to ancient Chinese meteorologists, the first part is when tongue trees burst into bloom. The second part is when quails become active and replace voles in the field. The third part is when the rainbow season starts. Ancient Chinese meteorologists observed that the weather would have to be warm enough for rainbows to appear after the rain, but they didn't know why. Modern scientists have found out why. This is because there must be sunshine and raindrops at the same time for a rainbow to show up. But when the weather is cold, water droplets within clouds are often frozen, incapable of scattering sunlight in order to create a rainbow. Speaking of rainbows, There will be more of them during the next solar term, which will be featured in the next video. Please stay tuned. In the meantime, please note that Tomb Sweeping Day is usually pretty close to Easter. Sometimes the two holidays even coincide. It's exactly the case in 2021. So, let's all pray for our lost loved ones.